A maid serves water to her employer, and while looking at her phone, she says, "This is a picture of my brother." The employer says, "This is your brother?" The maid says, "Yes, this is my brother." The employer says, "But this is my husband." The maid insists, "This is my brother. How can he be your husband?" The employer replies, "I married him a year ago." The maid says, "My brother left home a year ago and hasn't returned since." The employer says, "You must be mistaken. This is my husband, and he is also the owner of this company." The maid says, "My brother never told us he owns a company. Our household is struggling to make ends meet, and our mother is also ill." The employer says, "All right, if this is your brother, tell me his name." You poor people start claiming relations with the rich as soon as you see them. Then the maid tells her brother's name and says, "I am his sister." The employer says, "You have given the correct name." The maid says, "Call my brother here. When he sees me, he will recognize me." The employer says, "Okay, you go outside and I will call you later." The maid says, "All right," and goes outside. Then the employer calls her husband and says, "Come urgently." The husband arrives and asks, "Why did you call me in an emergency?" The wife says, "I want you to meet someone." The husband asks, "Who?" Then the employer calls the maid inside. The maid enters and says, "Brother." The wife asks, "Do you recognize her?" The husband says, "I don't know her." The maid says, "Brother, I am your sister. Are you refusing to recognize me?" The man says, "I don't know you." You poor people start claiming relations with the rich as soon as you see them. Then the wife angrily says, "Enough now. She is your sister, and she has told me everything." The husband says, "I truly don't know her." The wife says, "Don't lie. You have been deceiving me for the past year." The husband says, "I was going to tell you the truth." The wife says, "Have some shame. You told me you have no family, but look at your sister. She is of marriageable age, but is working here as a maid, and your mother is also ill." The husband says, "I have made a big mistake. I loved you, but you also didn't want to live with my family, right?" The wife says, "Before marriage, I didn't want to live with the family, but I always wanted marriage. Now apologize to your sister." Then the brother apologizes to his sister. The sister says, "There's no need for an apology. Please come home. When our parents see you, they will be happy." The brother says, "I cannot go home because I have hurt our elderly parents, and I haven't even asked about their well-being until now." The sister says, "Seeing you has dissolved my anger. Similarly, our parents' anger will also fade. Please come home." Then she turns to the employer and says, "Please convince him." The wife says, "Just as you apologized to your sister, apologize to your parents too. They will also be happy." The husband says, "How can I face my parents?" The wife says, "I will also come with you, and your sister will come too." The sister says, "Please come." Then they all decide to go and leave together. If you like this video, please like it.